Warning: the following video contains explicit language which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Are you ready?
המשמר יעבור לנוח.
80 years ago, in the Holocaust, the Jewish people were totally defenseless against those who sought our destruction. No nation came to our aid. Today, we again confront enemies bent on our destruction. I say to the leaders of the world, no amount of pressure, no decision by any international forum will stop Israel from defending itself. I pledge here today from Jerusalem on this Holocaust Remembrance Day, if Israel is forced to stand alone, Israel will stand alone.
Hey everybody, it's Jeff. Nice day here in Maine today. I hope everybody else is having a good day too. Really sunny out. Started off really kind of, the possibility it could have rain, but it cleared up, by noon. And now there's not a cloud in the sky, and it's sunny, and everybody's out there having a damn good time. And the temperature was just right today for lots of things, and so it's a nice day, nice Monday here to start the week. So as you saw in that little minute video there that I showed you, that was Netanyahu during the Holocaust remembrance ceremony. And the reason why I put that up there is because, in his speech he says that back in World War II, nobody came to the aid of the people who suffered in the concentration camps during the war. Okay, has he forgotten about the millions that died fighting Germany? We were trying to help them by taking care of their enemy, which was the Nazis, right? How can he say that? That they stood alone back then. Nobody came to help them. Well, yeah, in the concentration camps they didn't, but we hadn't got that far yet, and we were fighting them, pushing them back, and it would be a mistake to pass around that lie, or that, whatever you want, propaganda, whatever, and say that, we didn't have any allies, we had to fight for ourselves, okay? Yeah. And had the United States lost the war against Nazi Germany, they certainly would have been without any allies to help them, to save their lives, okay? But that didn't happen, okay? Yeah, they lost a lot of Jewish people, but there was an end in sight, and it did end, okay? So they weren't standing alone. And the United States over the years has, backed Israel in a lot of different ways and helped them out in a lot of different ways. But he's trying to create this bubble that if nobody agrees to what we're doing, then we'll just do it anyway. We don't care what they think. All right, and we're gonna do our best to beat Hamas, and and here's the thing. Did he even lay out a goal? When are the people over there going to know when this war is over? He never even highlighted that or explained in any detail to the people in Israel, who by and large are not really all into this thing, okay? They want this to stop, okay? But he never bothered to say to anybody during the speech, when will we reach the goal? What is the goal? So we know the war will stop. He didn't say. He just said that we will fight the enemy. Well, that's selling a forever war, right? That's kind of like when the United States says we're going to fight terrorists. How do you fight a tactic? You can't. It goes on. A terrorist over here, a terrorist over there, a terrorist at home. I mean, when you say we're going to fight terrorism, how the fuck do we know when we've won? Okay, because there's no base, there's no country to topple, there's nothing, okay? It's the same thing with Hamas. Hamas is a terrorist group. How will these people know when the war will be over? Okay? They won't. Because he'll just keep throwing it out that, oh, we got to attack. They hit us, we got to attack back, we got to retaliate. Well, there is no end in a war like that. It just goes on and on and on. And Hamas, they'll just keep retaliating. So what Biden stopped a shipment of weapons to Israel here, and that, I think that really annoyed Netanyahu, a lot. But he doesn't care, okay? Because if he did, he'd have done something. He'd have said something different. But no, he's not gonna stop anything. He's got enough weapons already to continue this thing on for however long he wants to continue it. And the people in Israel, well, they're no closer to understanding when this will end or knowing when it'll end than they were before. So here's a guy who's, kind of doing like what George W. Bush did to the United States after 9/11, okay? Promised us retaliation, promised us vengeance, okay? He sent us all over the world, the military, okay? We hit Iraq, okay? We hit Afghanistan. And we stayed in Afghanistan for 20 fucking years, okay? And when Biden said enough was enough and he got us out of there, the other side bitched on how we did it. Okay, we lost 13 people. Okay? When have we ever fought a war where we didn't lose people? Okay? But we pulled out of Afghanistan and we lost people there. And, there was no clean, easy way to do it. All right, but it is what it was. What it was. Okay, we pulled out of there because it was ridiculous to stay. These people, for 20 years, we fought a whole generation over there. Okay, well, Netanyahu is promising the same kind of bullshit for Israel. They're gonna fight, for however long Netanyahu's still gonna draw breath. Okay. In the meantime, while this goes on, he's not going to answer for any damn thing that he did. He's not going to answer for any of the tactics he used here so far. He's not going to answer for shit that he did before this war started. He's not going to answer. He's going to keep himself out of the Israel justice system, okay? That's what he's doing. It's kind of like what Trump's doing here. He's trying to delay things in his trials so he can get back in office. I mean, so they're both playing this playing for time, as it were. And this war is a good excuse for Netanyahu to keep ratcheting up the problem and escalating it. But like I said, it's a situation that our president and this country cannot stand for, because look, Israel is acting like the bad guy. Hamas is acting the bad guy. There are no good guys in this thing. And like I said from way back, I mean, this is a situation where if you want this to resolve, what you got to do is sue for peace. You got to have both sides stop the fighting, come to the table, and work this shit out. Okay, that's what you got to do. You can't take one side or the other, because both sides are trying to completely annihilate the other here now. And the people, the citizens, the average people on both sides, are screaming for this to stop. They want this to stop because so many innocent people, women and children, they're all being killed in the crossfire of all this crap. And if you look on a map, the little piece of land that they're sharing over there ain't a whole lot. I mean, imagine a war in Rhode Island. I mean, it's just, they're stepping on each other's necks there as it is. And I think, maybe in some way that kind of fuels, the tensions that exist there, is because they're too close together, and maybe distance is part of the answer here. I don't know, but they don't have a whole lot of land to fight on either side. Okay, and I'm surprised that after all this time that it hasn't ended. But what it is you got outside influences here. You got the United States on one side helping out Israel, and you got Iran and Russia on the other side helping out Hamas, Palestinians over there. Okay, I mean it's crazy, but the people here in our country don't want to have blood on their hands from all this. They don't want to be tied to this mess over there. We want to help out Ukraine because that's a legitimate fight, because that country was innocent. It didn't start. It wasn't fighting anybody. It was just there. It was just doing what it's been doing in Russia. Putin decides, I'm going to go in there and take it. That was a legitimate fight. It was a democratic country, and, it needed help. So the people here, we all stood together on that until Marjorie Taylor Greene shot her big mouth off. Okay, but we all stood together to help Ukraine because we could all see ourselves in that country, because, it's not poor. It was a pretty developed nation there. So, it was really important that we put our foot down there. Israel, on the other hand, I mean, we've been tied to that country for even before I was born, for Christ's sake, and nothing ever really settles, no matter who's in power. It's just this guy, Netanyahu, is very corrupt. He was before this even started, okay? Very corrupt, and he's, using this fight here with Hamas to his advantage, okay? And at the same time, it's costing lives. And I don't think he really gives a shit, because it's all about me. It's this shit that's going on around the world here with these leaders like Putin. It's about me. Trump, it's about me. Everybody's all selfish here, it seems like, all the wrong people. And, people that are like that need to understand that it may be about you for the moment, but you keep doing that long enough, and pretty soon it's going to be about them. And they're going to haul your ass out, at some point, okay? And you're going to cry because you didn't see it coming, or maybe you did see it coming, but you didn't give two shits about it. So, I mean, it's just, all these things will have a tendency to backfire on the selfish. It might take years, but it does happen. And Israel, it's really going to be up to Israel, to the people in Israel. I'm not saying the government, but the people in Israel, the citizens. It's really going to be in their hands whether this goes on or not. They're going to have Netanyahu removed from power in some way. And I can't believe that, people inside his own little government there haven't plotted against him already, because, if the hatred of this war is as strong as we're seeing on television, from the protesters over there, then, if it's as strong as that, then, he could be facing opposition inside his own administration, if you want. So it really is, it's up to the people over there to apply pressure. I mean, we can protest here, but as you can see what happens when we try to protest here, the people here don't really understand what it's like over there, okay? We tried to do a thing like that here, but then it turned into a big free-for-all with both sides getting involved with, and the right wing getting involved in it. You see, we can't even do a protest here because we got our own fucking issues in this country that we're fighting over right now. We may not be out on the streets shooting each other, but we are in a state of a pseudo-civil war right now in our own country between the right and the left. So when one side tries to take a stand on something internationally, the other side uses this as an opportunity to turn the whole thing inside out. So it backfires, on the administration sitting. So I just, like I said, this is a matter that has to be settled over there. Okay, the United States should not stick its nose in there militarily speaking. If they want to send aid over there to help wounded or something, that's different. But we shouldn't be sending any missiles or anything like that over there. This fight, if this is what Netanyahu wants, okay, if he wants to fight this, then everybody, okay, can just stand away, okay? We can cut ties, we can do whatever the hell we want. All right, and if Netanyahu thinks that, they can stand alone on this, then fine. They don't need us anymore, right? So I think that, if this is how he feels, then let's see how it works with the United States, not supporting them anymore, okay? And we certainly shouldn't support the other side either, because they're two bad apples fighting each other. And I'm not talking the civilians. I'm talking the governments, okay? These are two bad apples going at it here, okay? And all we can do is sit back and hope and pray that it ends soon with as few casualties as possible. And if Netanyahu can't understand why we're taking that stand, then hey, go ahead and bury yourself if that's what you want, okay? Because it's not going to end. There's no end in a war like that. That's a forever war that's going to go on and on and on, generation after generation, just as it's been going on for generation after generation. There's no end, okay? You want to die for the people who already died before you. What do you think those people would say to you now? Okay? After everything they went through in those concentration camps, after all the abuse, the murder, the torture that these people endured, okay? You think they would have wanted to live just to see their descendants going at each other's throats like that, and killing each other over there? I mean, I feel like if the dead could talk, they'd have something to say to Netanyahu today about what he said in that speech. They would have something to say about that. And I think, Netanyahu, he really showed his stripe in that speech. Just in that one fucking minute that he spoke, you really got a good glimpse into how that man thinks. Selfish, okay? He's not thinking about his people. He's not thinking about those that died. Not in the way that he wants you to think he's thinking. He's not doing this for them, okay? He's doing this for himself, okay? Because if he gave a shit at all about all those people that died, he wouldn't be doing this right now to the later generations of those who survived the Holocaust. He wouldn't be doing this now with his own people, okay? A leader would never ask an endless sacrifice for a war that has no end, okay? He'd be joining hands with President Biden and trying to bring a stop to this fight, okay? Because nobody wins in this. Nobody's going to win here. No one's going to surrender, okay? Hamas won't surrender. Israel's not going to surrender. So there's no white flag. There's no big day when everyone says, "Oh, the war is over and we won." Nobody's going to win this kind of war. It's a military fighting a terrorist group, okay? And that doesn't stop. That doesn't stop. So, anyway, let's go to a commercial break. We'll be right back.
This is me.
This is me.
This is me!
This is me.
I'm Alex Curtis. I'm a lobsterman in Maine, and this is me.
I'm Ruth McLaughlin, and this is me.
I'm Eric Hopkins. I'm an artist, and this is me.
This
is me.
Me.
This is me.
This is me.
This is me.
At the end of the journey, the main thing is you, original.
For 4 long years, Donald Trump disgraced America, laughing with mass-murdering dictators, Vladimir Putin's puppet.
You know, the people of Crimea, from what I've heard, would rather be with Russia than where they were.
The world laughed at us.
You know, Hezbollah is very smart. They're all very smart.
No more.
The people of this nation have spoken. At this hour, my friends, democracy has prevailed.
Today, America once again leads the free world. A respected leader, steady, determined, who knows America is great because America is good.
We stand with Israel. Today, tomorrow, as we always have.
Under President Biden, our friends are stronger, our enemies weaker.
This is not about party or politics. This is about the security of the United States of America.
A strong economy at home, a respected America abroad. President Joe Biden, an American president.
Some people have a deep, abiding respect for the natural beauty that was once this country. And some people don't. People start pollution. People can stop it. Write for Pollution Booklet, Box 1771, Radio City Station, New York.
Be a part of the entertainment value of a lifetime.
I loved it.
It was the best performance I've seen in a lifetime.
I loved the show. I liked it very much. He's a very entertaining man. It's well worth the money.
Now appearing in Charlottetown, coming to Halifax November 6th to the 18th, and St. John November 20th through the 26th.
welcome back, everybody. So, here's this other story here. I'm sure some of you probably already heard about Kristi Noem. Okay, she's been the talk of the town here for the last, 2 weeks, I guess, after she bragged about how she killed her little puppy in a gravel pit because it was unruly, I guess. But here's this article I want to read to you from Brent D. Griffiths from Business Insider, entitled, "Trump Privately Tells Donors That Kristi Noem Is Somebody That I Love," after she bragged about killing her dog. Former President Trump isn't completely ready to abandon South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem amid the uproar over her disclosure that she killed her 14-month-old dog named Cricket decades ago. Trump effusively praised Noem and other potential vice presidential picks during a closely watched Mar-a-Lago fundraiser over the weekend, according to audio of the private event obtained by Axios. Quote, "Somebody that I love," unquote, Trump said of Noem. Quote, "She's been with me, a supporter of mine, and I've been a supporter of hers for a long time," unquote. Coming from him, you can read into that as much as you want. Noem had long been viewed as a potential Trump running mate before her disclosure in a forthcoming autobiography about her decision decades ago to kill her family's dog. Since then, the South Dakota Republicans' political stock has cratered. Noem has refused to back down from her description of the incident, even arguing that President Joe Biden should treat his dog, Commander, who has had many biting incidents, similarly. Some Republicans have described Noem as toast amid the uproar. Decades ago, Noem wrote that she killed Cricket after she decided that the dog was untrainable and overly aggressive. Noem on Sunday tried to defend her memoir, including its inaccurate claim that she met with North Korea leader Kim Jong-un during a combative interview on CBS's Face the Nation. She also reiterated that killing Cricket illustrates that she won't avoid hard choices. The reason that this story is in the book because people need to understand who I am and some of those difficult decisions, unquote, Noem told host Margaret Brennan. Okay. She can face hard decisions. Well, it would be a hard decision if she cared at all about the dog. How many people would have done the same damn thing? I mean, I know I wouldn't. It's like, a young dog is always going to be hyper and active and everything, and there are people out there that can help you with taming that animal at the time, but you always got to expect something. What she says in that thing there, I mean, it's like, that's such a bizarre thing to throw out to people, and thinking that, oh, that's going to make me look good that I killed this dog. Really? Dude, what fucking, you lost your fucking membership to the human race, saying something like that. I mean, even the Republicans didn't like hearing that, okay? And, when you got both sides, standing up against you for saying something like that or even doing something like that, hey, you didn't do yourself any favors there. And if Trump wants to go ahead and pick you to run with him, that's fine, okay? You can take him down with you for all I care. But the fact is that, the Republicans really don't have anybody, okay? If it wasn't for Trump, who would it be for them? Nobody, because they've got nobody. All they got are loudmouths and, Marjorie Taylor Greene's out there and this woman here. That's all they got. They've got nobody, and anybody that has an ounce of brain in the Republican Party is not stupid enough to tie their name to Donald Trump, no matter how much money he's got. Okay, because everybody that deals with Trump ends up, falling on their sword for the man and ending up in prison, or they lose their law license. You know what I'm saying? Bad things happen to people who do business with Donald Trump. Okay, and if Kristi Noem feels like she can do business with him and not, I don't know what's he gonna do for her. And, it's funny how these wackadoodle women seem to come out of the woodwork for him. I mean, wouldn't that make, his wife, Trump's wife, you know, suspicious that, you know, what's he doing with her? Is he banging her some damn thing? You know what I'm saying? I mean, the guy's we already know he's cheated on his wife, okay? And he goes to bed with, when he was younger, goes to bed with everything. There are Playboy models and strippers and whatever. I mean, this guy played everybody, okay? He's probably got sons out there he doesn't even know he's got, for Christ's sake. But, you know, you have to wonder, you know? Especially Carrie Lake there. I mean, right now, him and Carrie Lake aren't getting along, as far as we know anyway, because, you know, things going on there. But with this lady here, you know, I mean, if he picks her, I mean, is that going to make some of these Republicans not vote for Trump because she's on his VP? You know, I doubt it. If they're dumb enough to vote for Trump in the first place, then they're dumb enough to vote for her, no matter how pissed off they are at what she said or what she did with that dog. Okay, Cricket. Okay, I just feel like, you know, all these people lining up to essentially stand before Trump and expose themselves the way she did here and say, ain't that a good thing, you know, that I shot my dog and that shows I can make bad decisions, yeah, but I can make strong and difficult decisions. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so you can kill an innocent little dog, you know. That just shows you heartless, which means you got no problem sending anyone to their death, in fact, because you knew that dog, okay? You may not have liked the dog, but you knew the dog, and it didn't matter to you that you knew him and that was yours. You killed him anyway. So imagine what you do to somebody you don't know, that you never spent time with, okay? Hell, that's not a difficult decision for you to push the buttons and stuff, you know, to kill the whole fucking, you know, that's not a difficult decision. What would be a difficult decision for her? To shut her mouth about not saying something like that? Maybe that would be the hard decision for her to do. You know what I'm saying? Maybe for her, the hard decisions are the ones that we take for granted because we do them every day, and they're not hard for us because we have a moral compass. But since she doesn't, okay, these questions that these issues that we deal with and make decisions on every day would come harder to her. The ones that we don't want to face, the decisions that we don't want to have to make decisions, oh, that's easy for her because it requires no conscience or any feeling. Heartless, okay? Trump's that way. That's why he was telling people during the pandemic, oh, drink some bleach or shove a light up your ass. You know, all these things, okay, under the skies, like, oh, this is all a hoax. The Democrats created this whole thing. It's a hoax, okay? So it was easy for him to get in front of people and say shit like that because he didn't care. He didn't care how many of them were going to actually do it and then hurt themselves or kill themselves in the process. Because these suckers, the people that he loves, okay, he loves the poorly educated, they lined up to kiss his ass and do whatever the hell he told them to do. You know, that's... So, yeah, maybe these two would be a match made in hell. Maybe they'd be perfect for each other in some kind of a mirror universe where the world just is you know, they would be perfect for each other because they're both narcissistic and they both don't care about anybody but themselves. So, yeah, maybe she would be, but would that be inelectable? Would the rest of the country follow suit? At least 25% of the country probably would. We got a quarter of the country that lives in that bubble along with Trump. So, yeah, maybe they would. But I'm hoping that the rest of the country would still stand together and say, you know, let's keep this shit real and not let these fucking freaks into the White House, okay? Put them in the nut house where they belong. We need to make a nut house somewhere, a big, big nut house, and start moving some of these people back in there and leave them in there for Christ's sake. You know, we're letting too many out. They're not fit for society. I mean, and who in the hell, you know, that's got a mental problem like that would want to go to school to learn to be a lawyer, okay, and then later turn their lawyer career into a political career? Doesn't that tell you something about people that go into that kind of field? What kind of mentality you may or may not have to be, you know, a lawyer or a politician? You know, if somebody tells you, I want to be a lawyer when I grow up, you better have their head examined. Or if they want to say, I want to be president of the United States, or I want to be senator, you know what I'm saying? say, let's sit down and talk about this for a minute. I want to check you out because, most people, it seems that a lot of people, I'm not going to say all of them, but it seems like a lot of people going into those careers these days have really got some questionable ethical problems here. Their moral compass is off balance or some fucking thing, okay? And they're all coming out of the woodwork now, more so than ever. I don't think I remember any time in the past where so many freaks in our political system have come to the foreground and taken all the spotlight off of more serious issues that are happening not just in our country but around the world. Like this, what's going on in Israel, okay, or school shootings, or whatever the case is something that's serious that requires some serious thought, logical thinking, to deal with. Instead, we're given a shit show. And yeah, the press is partially to blame for that too, because hey, if it bleeds, it leads. If it's crazy, people want to see it. That's going to be on the. Okay, we know how they work. We've done a lot of investigating of the investigators, and we find out that hey, they're biased. They're always looking for a story that's going to draw an audience. Okay, because that makes them money, even if the story is a clown circus shit show. Okay, like Trump, it still makes them money. That's why they keep pushing those poll numbers out. I'm not going to say they're honest. I'm going to say that they tailor the polling in a way where they get the numbers they want. Okay, so they keep pushing these poll numbers out to show people that Biden and Trump are neck and neck. Seriously, you've got a president who's got a hell of a record here for keeping our country afloat. Okay, and under the mess that the previous asshole made. Okay, trying to stop a war overseas. Okay, you got another guy on the other side, 91 charges against him, judges constantly, he's in contempt of court, raped a woman, convicted for that, and you're going to tell me that these two people are the same, they're neck and neck, they're equal? Okay, who do you think you're kidding? I mean, you must really have a low opinion of your viewers and readers, press out there, if you think that we're going to buy that. Yeah, sure, there's going to be some reactions over that, but let these people stop and think for a minute. Who is Biden running up against? A criminal. A fucking criminal. Do you honestly think that, Biden has to really worry that much about that son of a bitch? I mean, the only thing that they're worried about as far as anything to do with Trump is his goddamn followers, okay? That's the concern that our government has right now, is keeping an eye on them. What are they going to do, okay? Like that guy that set fire to himself a couple weeks ago. They're over in front of the courthouse in New York, okay? Those are the concern of the government right now, not Trump. Trump's a mouth. It's his people that follow him. They're the concern. And really, if the press wants to do stories, let them do stories about that, okay, on how we're trying to keep civility in our country here. And right now, it's a really a full-time job right now, because we got a lot of radicals out there surrounding Trump that want to see Trump put back in office. And how far are they willing to go? Are they going to start another January 6th? Are they gonna push to rig an election? Are they gonna storm the polling areas where people vote? I mean, what's gonna happen? Are people gonna feel safe to even get out and vote? Knowing there's radicals out there who are probably willing to do something stupid. People are gonna, we need to. That's a concern. Instead of focusing on what the hell Trump did in his pants here while he was in trial, instead of focusing on that bullshit, why don't we focus on something that really does hit home with people? And right now, the voting in the election is a serious thing, okay? And Trump is just the shit show that press wants, because they're feeding to the lowest common denominator. Okay, they don't want high-end viewers. They want people, lowbrow viewers, watching their news. Okay, because it's infotainment to them. Okay, we like to chastise Fox News for doing that. Okay, but they all do it, all of them. MSNBC, CNN, NBC, CBS, they all do it. They're all in league with that shit together, okay? It's just Fox is a right-wing outfit of the same goddamn problem, okay? But they're all into this infotainment. And there ain't a goddamn interviewer or press a reporter out there who's willing to hit the fucking hardcore questions when they like they used to do in 60 Minutes. Okay, you face somebody, and if they lie to your face, they tell them you're lying. Okay, that ain't true. This is what you said. You know, but they won't do that. They don't confront or challenge the people they interview or dig deep enough into a problem to get to the facts. They don't do that. Everything's got to be handed to them. Okay. In the meantime, all they're doing is just giving screen time to somebody that they're talking to. Okay, because hey, that'll get people to watch. And like I said, it's a tiresome thing. It makes people, you know, like me, avoid watching television, news television anyway, because I just, you know, it always feels like, you know, they're not giving me the whole story. They're only giving me this person's view of it, but where's the other side? You know, there's always a 2 or 3-sided story, you know, and we only get one side of it, so you're only getting a third of the truth, okay, and that might be questionable at best. I want to see the whole goddamn enchilada, because as a voter, especially an American voter, we have to know the truth to make the right decisions. And if we're constantly lied to, people are going to lose faith in hearing the truth. And that's what happened to a lot of these Trump supporters, is they fell into that hole, that pit, where for years they've been lied to, and they don't know the truth when they hear it now. You know, they just don't. They don't know when they're hearing the truth anymore. Their bullshit filter is gone. It's rotted, okay, because they have been spun a web of lies, and they swallowed it hook, line, and sinker, and now, you know, they're left holding the bag, and nobody is, well, people are offering them a chance to get out of the pit, but they don't believe the hands exist. You know, whatever you want to call it, you know, but, you know, that's where we are right now, with politics here in this country. All right, so anyway, that's it. And have a great rest of the week, everybody. And subscribe and comment. And keep your ears open for any health matters. And treat each other nice out there. And just remember that, you know, just because you see somebody out on the street, 3-dimensional, okay, there's layers underneath that body. They're not just random people that have no meaning, okay? Everybody has a meaning. Everyone has a purpose, you know. And so remember, people are special. Every person is special. And, you know, when you start treating people like that better, you know, as a special person because of their personality and, you know, whatever, then, you know, maybe you start to learn to appreciate other people and life, you know. And that might change your view about how, you know, we interact with ourselves out there in public, you know. We might step on each other's necks less. So, take care, everybody. Bye-bye.